Hi everyone! In today's video we are going to be talking about complementary and supplementary angles. Two angles are complementary angles when the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. Let's look at our models. Here I have an angle that is 30 degrees and an angle that is 60 degrees. Together, 30 plus 60 equals 90 degrees. In my second model, I see that I have two angles that form a right angle. A right angle is always 90. You can think of complementary angles as complementing someone. I should listen to you. You're always right. Two angles are supplementary angles when the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. In this model, I have an angle that is 135 degrees and an angle that is 45 degrees. 135 plus 45 equals 180 degrees. In my second model, I have two angles that come together to form a straight line. A straight line is always 180. You can think of supplementary angles as supporting or holding something up. Put both arms out in front of you and keep them straight. Let's tell whether the angles are complementary or supplementary. Then we'll find the value of x. So here I notice that I have two angles that come together to form a 90-degree angle. So that means we have a complementary angle. If I know that together the sum of my two angles equals 90, I can solve for x. 4x plus 34 is going to equal 90 degrees. To isolate my variable to get it all by itself, I'm going to use inverse operations. I'm going to subtract 34 on both sides. 34 minus 34 cancels out to be 0, and I can bring down my 4x. 90 minus 34 is 56. And I can divide both sides by 4 to get my value of x. Here, x equals 14. Let's try another example. Here I have two angles that come together to form a straight line. So I know that these two angles, when added together, are going to equal 180 degrees. So I can write my equation using x plus x minus 4 is equal to 180 degrees. Before I use inverse operations, I want to go ahead and simplify this expression. I have 2x minus 4 equals 180. Instead of subtracting by 4, I'm going to add by 4 on both sides. Minus 4 and plus 4 cancel out, so I'm left with 2x is equal to 180 plus 4, which is 184. My last step is to use inverse operations to get x by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 184 divided by 2 equals 92. And that is how you solve for your value of x. Try these two problems on your own. Pause the video and come back when you're ready to compare your answers. Let's look at the first problem, labeled as number 4. We have two angles that come together to form a straight line. So I know that we are looking at supplementary angles. I can set up my equation by writing 4x plus 5 plus 75 is equal to 180. I notice that this can be simplified, so I'm going to rewrite my problem as 4x plus 80 is equal to 180. And now I can use inverse operations. Instead of adding 80, I'm going to subtract 80 on both sides. 80 minus 80 cancels out to be 0, and I'm left with 4x. And 180 minus 80 is equal to 100. To isolate my variable, I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. 100 divided by 4 equals 25. Let's look at our second problem, labeled as number 5. I have two angles that form a right angle. So I know that together, x plus 2x minus 3, they're going to equal 90 degrees. So let's set up our problem. Before I use inverse operations, I know that this can be simplified. X plus 2x, I can simplify to 3x minus 3 equals 90. I'm going to use inverse operations to add 3 on both sides. Three x can be brought down to equal 93. My last step is to use inverse operations to divide by 3 on both sides. And x is equal to 31. I hope that you found this video helpful. Please let me know if you have any further questions.